It's Monday.
It's 8 p.m.
It's the Monday assessment.
Up the gills.
And your people gather round your town when things are on the up or things are falling down. Celebrate the hard times, stay passionate through the lows, find strength in the chaos, no matter which way it goes. It's not easy being blue. Heartbreak comes in many ways, the hardest times, the darkest days, but all these things get washed away with us, with us. The highs might not come every day, but memories do, and memories stay. Enjoy that moment anyway with us, with us, with us. It's not easy being blue. It's not easy being blue.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to the Monday Assessment by the View from Medway Fancast, sponsored by Snodhurst Used Car Sales and Service Station and Wicked Creative, and in partnership with Gillingham FC Sports Club, Sports Social Podcast Network, and Her Game 2. We are back after a long pre-season, and we are live this evening at the Cricketers. So I am joined this evening by John from Snodhurst and the third place in the 24-25 season, guest of the season, Mr. Mike Gammon. So how are we, boys?
Very well, thank you. Yeah, it's a scandal that I only came third. You know, more scandalous than Scully at Accrington. That's what that is.
He only came third because his wife voted for him as well. He would be nowhere otherwise. But no, I'm good. So yeah, hello everyone. Nice to be back.
Yeah, that's it, boys. So we will just quickly jump straight on to the Views news, and we will talk about Paul Scully being at Accrington on Saturday. I expressed my displeasure for this. So, Mike, I'll go with you first, mate.
Okay.
And what were your thoughts on that?
Well, let's be fair. I mean, one thing that's always been said about Scully is that he's very sort of thick-skinned. But you know, there's a difference between being thick-skinned and being so thick mentally. He's so thick he would fail his birth certificate. Turning up somewhere like that, where you know the fans don't want him there.
Yeah.
You know, it beggars belief why he's making those inroads to try and get that slightest bit of relevance, that slightest bit of inclusion.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not right. It's just not right. I think he needs to get his own house in order because he's got things going on which we can't talk about clearly. But he's got all those things going on. He needs to get that sorted out before he starts popping his head up and coming in for a target of abuse.
Yeah. No, I agree, mate. And I mean, I just think the bloke's a cancer, to be honest. I don't like the bloke. I've never liked the bloke. Had a few run-ins with him myself, but yeah. And yourself, John?
Do you know what? If it makes him happy, let him get on with it. I know he didn't get a very warm welcome from Gillingham fans there. Yeah, get on with it. If that's what you want to do it. I'm really nonplussed. We got new owners who are taking the club forward now. As far as I'm concerned, Scally's a distant memory, and yeah, crack on, do what you like. It makes no difference to the direction the club's going in under Brendan Shannon. So
It doesn't, but it kind of ruined the day first game of the season, and you've got that turning up. It was annoying for me. But we'll move on then, boys, and what's needed. So what I mean by that is, you know, we've got a little while left in the window to go. We've obviously seen the first game. We will get onto that in isolation in a minute. But John, what do you think within the squad that we'll need?
I think it'd be nice to see a pacey winger who can run the ball. I mean, I know we've got Aaron Rowe, he's not in the team at the moment, but someone in that mould alongside him. If we've got two players like that who can come in and out of the team, who can get the ball, get on the ball, run with it, and a bit of excitement, get the ball whipped into the box. Yeah. I think that's a really good addition. I think at the back, we're well covered. I think in midfield, we're pretty well covered, and we've got plenty of options up top. So I think it's just that dynamic, energetic player that we need.
Yeah, Mike, yourself?
Yeah, for me, it's definitely the forward area on the wing because, you know, as John said, Aaron Rowe isn't in the team at the moment. I mean, what we need is a player that has the kind of self-belief that Joe Bode does.
Mhm.
You know, whenever he has the ball, he tries to make something happen. Yeah, quite often, like, you know, he gets the ball pinched off him or whatever kind of thing. But you need that on that wide area. Whereas, you know, we've only got Joe that really does that. Aaron Rowe does do it. As he's not in at the moment, it's definitely an area that we need to address and get someone else in that respect.
Yep.
I mean, we did hear a rumour that you know, there may be someone on the wide side that may be sort of like, you know, under observation, might be coming in. So we'll see how that one turns out before the window shuts.
That's it. Yeah. For me, I think the same. I mean, if Aaron Rowe on one side and Joe Bode on the other, for me would be the perfect solution. But you've then got to think, you know, if one of them does get injured, because Aaron Rowe appears to be injured quite a lot, then we do need that backup there as well. Because I don't rate Jack Nolan, surprisingly. So yeah, we definitely do.
I mean, the one thing to sort of bearing in mind is that you don't only need someone to cover those positions. You need someone who will come on and make an impact as well.
Yeah.
You need even if like both Rowe and Bode are fit, you still need a player that's going to come in and take those legs in, you know, towards the back end of the second half, and take it through to the end.
Yeah, definitely. John, anything else on that, mate?
I think that's about what we need, to be honest. And it's interesting, obviously, what Mike says about someone with a bit of confidence and he'll just do it. Do you know what? If you've got that flair player like that who can do that, I don't care if he gets tackled 10 times in a match. It's that one moment of magic where he gets that ball in, someone scores from the cross, or when he cuts inside, has a shot and scores. It's worth having a player like that who will lose the ball. If he loses the ball, I don't care. If there's end product there at the end of it, it's great. Yeah, definitely.
Only needs one moment of magic.
Only one moment of magic.
Well, maybe a few. That'd be nice.
Yeah, but I do think, like, with like Sam Vokes coming in and with Seb Palmer Holden coming in, if we can play them up top, one or the other, it's just that supply again, isn't it? We've been saying it for years. We don't have the supply to the front men, so we definitely need to fix that. I don't think we need to find a goal scorer. I think we just need to find someone who can actually pass it to a goal scorer.
Well, I mean, the problem is that, you know, I think the midfield, like with the game at Aki, we're getting like neck ache just by watching the ball. Just keep the midfield just watching it go over their heads constantly, kind of thing. You know, what we need to do is that we need to deliver a bit more on the ground and try and create something that way. You know, that's the way that you're probably going to get the best out of Sam Vokes. He's going to be able to sort of hold up a little bit. You know, he's a big old fella. So that's his style of play. But, you know, he's not going to be like, you know, jumping for every single ball. So that's what we need to do. We need to have a look at the style of play. But I'm sure, you know, in Ainsworth we trust that he's factored all that in.
Yeah, I hope so. John. And we're all big fans, I think, of Gareth Ainsworth. We have to trust the process. We have to trust everything that's going on. But yeah, so we will move on to pies. Random subject, but it was announced earlier in the week that Pucker Pies will now be the official supplier for the club. So, Mike, I'll start with you on this one, because for me, last season the pies were absolutely amazing, and for me, Pucker Pie isn't.
Well, this is going to sound like an absolute cop-out because I don't eat pies. So I'm probably the worst person to ask about this. But, you know, I think there's been a few fans that have complained about it and said, like, you know, it's a bit of a downgrade, you know, from what we had last season kind of thing. So I say leave that debate to the pie connoisseurs, which isn't me.
Like myself, clearly. And John?
Despite what people may think with this Adonis-like chiselled figure, I'm not actually a pie enthusiast, believe it or not. I'm not a pie man. What I will say is, from the perspective of a business person myself, seeing the club entering into commercial relationships with national brands like Pucker Pies, it's good news for the club on a commercial basis. So, yeah, I'll go along with that. As a pie eater, I don't really care because I don't eat pies, so much like Mike.
Oh, that was fun.
I bet you're glad you put that something in there.
It appears I'm the only one that eats pies. So, yeah, brilliant. Thank you very much for that, boys. So, we will quickly move on to Morecambe. A really sore subject, not only for Morecambe fans, but for football fans. You could also put Sheffield Wednesday into this bracket. So, I'll ask the question: what do you feel in football needs to change? Because we've seen it with Bury in recent years, we've seen it now with Morecambe, and we're kind of witnessing it as well with Sheffield Wednesday. So, what do you feel, John, needs to change within football? Because the fit and proper person test clearly isn't fit and proper. And you know, we've been there ourselves. We could have quite easily fallen out of League Two a couple of seasons ago, and I think we kind of would have been in the same position as Morecambe. So, what are your thoughts on that?
I think it absolutely does come down to the fit and proper persons test in many respects. Now, this guy Whittingham of Morecambe, I know he heads up some finance companies, some investment companies, and things like that. But when you look at his history as a company director, it does flag up alarm bells in terms of his fit and proper status to run a football club. He's been a director of 20-odd companies. Many of those companies have been dissolved. That does happen. Companies stop trading. That's a normal thing for a company to be dissolved. More concerning is he's got a couple of companies that are actually in receivership. One company was liquidated involuntarily, as far as I am aware, and he's also had multiple striking off notices for failing to file accounts and things like that. Now, if somebody's got that sort of history as a company director, it does make you worry in terms of, are they fit and proper to look after a football club when a football club means so much to people and it's so important to communities. Gillingham's massively important to the community here, and Morecambe is a small club in a tight community. We know what it means to them there, and when you see news like this today, that there were offers on the table that the guy refused to accept, which are his choice because he owns it. He wants to get his money out of it however way. That is his choice, but it doesn't make it any way right, and it is absolutely heartbreaking for the fans of Morecambe. It's devastating for them. Yeah. And you know what? As a football fan, you wouldn't want to see it to happen to any club. I wouldn't want to see it happen to Swindon. You just don't want it to happen. It's not right.
Calm down a minute.
Maybe.
No, I think you're right, John. You're right, John. And Mike, yourself on this issue.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's one thing. I know John was saying that, you know, it's his right to sell the club to whoever he sees fit. But the problem is that he was putting out statements saying, we want to sell. But he wasn't doing it. He wasn't following through with that. I mean, going back to the original question, which is what needs to change, it's the fit and proper test. It needs, like, you know, stripping down and starting over again, because the alarm bells were all there after what he did to the rugby club, Worcester Warriors. Yeah. And as John said, he's had more companies than the US Army. So, you know, all the alarm bells were there.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't make the comparison between what's happened with Morecambe and what nearly happened to us. Because when Scally took over all those years ago kind of thing, you don't know where you're going to be in 20, 25 years kind of thing. Yeah. Whereas this has transpired in a 3-year period, which is a very short time in football.
Yeah.
How this has been allowed to happen from the point of acquisition, considering all those red flags that were there.
And
it's astounding.
Regarding Morecambe, let's remember, apparently it's rumoured that a lot of club staff and a lot of the players have been turning in there and doing their shift week in, week out without getting wages. It's not 100% been confirmed. But if those staff, and that's their 9 to 5 job, are in there working for that club, and those players are not getting paid, just so much respect for them for trying to keep that club alive.
Care about what they do, don't they?
Yeah.
That's what it is.
It's testament to them, isn't it? And I think we'd probably be the same as fans if we were unfortunately in that position. But I hope there is some resolution, because Dave Salmon posted something earlier saying, you know, there are a few chances that are saying that the club's gone under, but they've still got a bit of time. So I really hope that Jason Whittingham does the right thing. Can't see it personally.
Well, you're asking for him to do the right thing, which is he hasn't done it so far.
No,
and he has no inclination.
No,
that he's going to do so. It's a bad day. It really is.
Is there a case though? I mean, Morecambe fans, if you're watching, you probably aren't. But is there a case to be had where he's doing it purposely, winding down the club so he can use the land to build on, or?
I don't think he has the resource to do that, really, does he? I don't think he's able to really do that. I mean, of course, I don't know all the ins and outs of it or anything like that.
I mean, the thing is, even if you haven't got the resource to build, if you've got the land, there are sort of property development companies who
Yeah.
go into sort of a partnership with you.
Yeah.
So if you've got the land, they will take care of the build, the marketing, the planning permission and everything.
Yeah.
And then you split the profits, as it were. But
So what happened in the case of the rugby club? Did he use the land after the club went? Or
I'm not a rugby fan, so I don't know a
Yeah.
lot about it, other than the ball's the wrong shape. But, and they handball it all the time. It's ridiculous. But it's ridiculous the amount of handballs and the fouls that go on the pitch. But no, I really have no idea with like what happened there. I know that the club was forced out of existence, but this one is strange. It doesn't smell of a property deal.
It smacks of incompetence.
Yeah.
And like I say,
ego.
If you work, and if you count how many companies have gone defunct, he's not got that business mind. But he's so strong-willed, big-headed, that he thinks he is, that he finds himself in this situation, and he won't let that fact go.
So someone's put land's got a leisure-only covenant for 10 years, I hear. So
110.
110.
Yeah.
So
Interesting.
okay, boys. So yeah, at the end of the day, we do feel extremely sorry for the Morecambe fans.
Yeah.
And if you want to reach out, we can help in any way. I mean, I spoke to Dave Salmon the other day. I said about like a fundraiser, maybe. If we can help. You've got great fans. I've always enjoyed going to Morecambe. So yeah, if we can help at all, then please let us know on that one. And I think we'd all help. So we will quickly touch on the Stanley facts from the weekend. So the original club was founded in 1891. This is really small.
Can you not blow it up a little bit?
No,
I'm struggling, and I've got glasses on.
The club's name originated from a team called Stanley Villa, which adopted the town name after the demise of the original Accrington FC. Bricks made in Accrington were used in the construction of notable buildings such as the Empire State Building. Did you know that?
No.
I didn't either.
No idea.
Today.
You're just a source of
amazing information. Yeah, it's absolutely brilliant for us, isn't it?
It's all coming in handy for a pub quiz. That will never happen.
So we will move on quickly to the lineups from Saturday. So we had Glenn Morrison goal. We had a back four of Max Clark, Shadowby, Conor Masterson, and Ramaya Hutton. Sorry, I'm trying to get rid of this comment off the screen. We then had a back two, or a middle two of Amani Little and Robbie McKenzie. We then had Joe Bode, Johnny Williams, Bradley Dack, and then a top one of Nevitt. So, boys, I'll ask both of you first, and I'll go with you first. John, what were your thoughts on the lineup?
In terms of the lineup, it's the first game of the season. The Gaffer's had pre-season with the boys. He's been trying various things. That's what he thinks was the right setup. So I think until we've seen a few games this season, I'm happy with what he's putting out at the moment, really. There's no glaring players. I wouldn't play them or anything like that. Some people say they would like to have seen Sam Gale start probably, or Andy Smith, but we don't know what their fitness levels are after pre-season. But I think it's the first game of the season. Let's show trust in the Gaffer and what he's doing. That's my opinion, 100% on that. He knows what he's doing. He's been in the game a long time. He's got teams out of this division. So,
I mean, I probably would have liked to have seen one of Johnny Williams or Bradley Dack.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily think that, and we've spoken about this previously, don't think necessarily they could play in the same team. It's a bit like Lampard and Gerrard for England. Don't see, they're very similar, so I don't see how they can play in the same team. Bradley Dack playing on the right-hand side was a little bit of a baffling one for me. The rest of it, as John said, I trust in the process, trust in what Gareth's trying to do. But for you, mate, what are your thoughts on?
I completely concur with what you were saying about Dack and Williams in the same team. Doesn't really work for me. Dack out on the right as well. I mean, I'll put a question to you. Dack out on the right or Jack Nolan?
Oh, Dack.
You'd still go with that.
I'd still go with that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know whether it's like an options thing of what we're working with, what we've got, kind of thing at the moment. But Dak out on the right didn't really seem right to me. But I guess we're just working with what we got.
We do, mate. But he did get into a few good positions, which I'm sure we'll come on to when we get into the game itself. But I just think that it's very hard to play two number 10s in the same team. Unless you play Williams down where maybe Mackenzie or Little is, and then put Dak there, and then have a winger row, when fit on that side. But yeah, I think for me it was you can only make the best of what you've got.
Yeah,
and when you've got a few injuries as well, you can't, and Jack Nolan's clearly not favoured, so you kind of have to make up with what you got, don't you? Really.
Yep.
That's pretty much that. So we'll go on to the actual game itself. So yeah,
shots on target.
So shots on. We had 8 shots, none on target, 3 corners. Accuracy of passes 124. Fouls committed was 15. Yellow cards 2. No red cards, and we had 45 possessions. So I'll go with you, Mike, and your overview of the game itself.
Well, the first half was a complete non-event, really. It was there's not really much I can sort of draw out of that. But the second half, it did come to life a little bit. Bode was trying to make some things happen, which was great. He was also being fouled as well, drawing some of those yellow cards, which was good to see. Yeah, I mean, as I mentioned earlier on, that when Bode gets something and he tries to make something happen, he can lose the ball. But it just needs to sort of have that one moment that really works, and everything will be a bit more sort of on point of where we want to be, because it's a damning indictment, isn't it? No shots on target in an entire game. We know Accrington have a game plan. We know they stick to it. It goes back to that whole identity thing. Is they know who they are, and we're still struggling with that a little bit. At home as well as away. I mean, of course, we haven't seen what home's like at the moment, but in terms of overall the game, it came to life a little bit. It was a bit sort of into a few mistakes, creeping into both teams, into their game kind of thing. And with the goal their goal in the second half, it was Marston and Hutton should have dealt with that. Hutton was caught out, really, wasn't he? He should have been the other side of him, or being able to get to him. I mean, he's a right wing back, for crying out loud. He's got pace. He could have gone a bit harder than what he did, because it didn't look like he was really. I don't know whether it's he just didn't want to foul or whatever kind of thing, which is fine.
I think he didn't get the start. I think he was caught a little bit flat-footed. As the ball comes through. And when you're caught flat-footed like that, and it's not necessarily his fault, it just leaves you that yard short straight away. And that can happen when the ball comes through like that. If your body's not in the right position, your starting position is terrible. And it can happen.
It come to me as the ball's gone over to the winger, and then Hutton's kind of just drifted in that way rather than being where he should be out of here. But
because if you've got Masterson inside on the right of him, then you want to be coming around the other side of him as well, kind of thing. Because where the ball slowed down, where he's cut back and then put it in, kind of thing. Hutton could have been the other side of that. But it's one of those coulda, shoulda, woulda decision making.
Masterson will probably be thinking he should have come in and cleared that away. But it didn't happen. And like I say, first time people are going to make mistakes.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to shit the bed over it or anything like that. For the first game of the season. I mean, I know a lot of people have already started chucking their betting slips in the bin and everything like that about where we're going to finish.
It's unbelievable the Medway in it.
There's no need for the head loss.
Not yet. Not yet.
I think for me personally,
October, that's when that kicks in.
For me personally, it's first game of the season. I lost my head a little bit at Ebbsfleet, but that was the nature of the defeat against the level of opponent. But we're in League Two for a reason. Accrington are in League Two for a reason. It was a sloppy game. There wasn't much going on. Let's not lose our heads just yet. We've got a 2-year plan here. Let's just stick to that 2-year plan. Yes, there's going to be times that are frustrating. There's going to be times that we don't perform very well. There's going to be times where we lose games. And Gareth has already alluded to, it's not always going to be pretty, right? It's the start of the season. Let's just allow this process to happen before we then start getting on his back. So yeah, John, your thoughts on the game?
Accrington away is always going to be a hard game, especially first game of the season. They've got a way they play, they fight for everything, they make it very difficult to play nice football. And I think if you'd said to someone months ago, next season your first game of the season will be Accrington away, would you take a point? I think most people would have said yes. We did have, even in the first half, we had a couple of good moments. We had the chance where the two lads, I can't remember who it was now, got in each other's way almost at the back stick. And Boda had a chance where he cut in and he shot over. Another time he curls that into the top corner. There were a couple of positive signs there in the first half. They were just things that didn't break our way. In the second half, we got into the game a bit more. But then in the second half, I felt Accrington also got a bit more physical as well. And you saw a lot of shirt pulling, a lot of pushing. And you know what? The ref was consistent with letting it go for both teams. So as much as I think the limits of what is fair and what isn't fair were pushed, you know you're going to get a physical game at Accrington. You know you're going to get physical teams in League Two. And you know what? I think a lot of decent sides will go to Accrington this season and probably get beat. So I don't think a 0-0, 1-1 draw away at Accrington's a bad result, honestly.
No, it's not. It's not to start with. I think if this had been like 10, 15 games in and we're playing the same way, then maybe there'd be a few questions. I do understand it's like a PTSD thing with a lot of fans where we're subjected to such tripe over a certain period of time that we have it computed into our brain where the minute we don't play the best, we then jump to, oh my God, we're rubbish. But we need to trust that process with Gareth. We need to trust that process with the team. He hasn't been able to get rid of as many players as he probably would have liked, to be fair, because of contracts and stuff like that. I think next season will probably be a lot more of a shift because there are a lot of players this season that are in their final year of their contract. So I think end of next season will be a massive reset, but we can start to get that process going now and see what we can do. And look, we're still unbeaten in 13 games in the league. So until we start being absolutely dreadful, which we probably will be in October, as we usually are, I just think that we need to come off, we need to just look. Last season we beat Carlisle 4-1 on the opening game at home, and we finished 17th. I don't think it's really a prerequisite that we do well if we lose, draw, win, whatever the first game. One game, we've still got 45 to go. Let's just see how we go.
It don't matter how you do in the first game. It's at the business end of the season. Where that's where the prizes are dished out at the end of the day. So definitely now is not the time for people getting overexcited and wetting their beds because,
I love the fact we're trying to make a serious point of Morecambe here is Abba being all chipper.
Well, this is the joys of being in a pub, I guess. It's fine. And we all want to sing along.
It's a contrast, isn't it?
The Chiquitica. So we will move on to our man of the match, and I think it's quite resounding, really. I've gone for Little. John's gone for Little. Mike's gone for Little. For me, there is definitely a correlation between Little growing his hair back. Mike, you know a lot about that.
I wouldn't know. I'm still waiting.
I definitely think there's a direct correlation between Little growing his hair back and him starting to perform better again. And I saw on Saturday the kind of fight, the kind of passion that I expected Armani Little was providing last season before he got his haircut. So, John, what was your reason for Little?
It was a captain's performance from Little. It was an absolute captain's performance. He was trying to break up play. He was trying to win the ball back. He was trying to make things happen. He was everywhere. And they're the sort of performances from him that earned him the armband. And they're the sort of performances that will keep him as captain at the end of the day. And I think the delivery from the corner, that was great any level of football. It was absolute class. So good on him. Absolutely good on him. Standout performer for me of the day. And look forward to it continuing.
Yeah, Mike, yourself?
Yeah, I mean, like John said, it was a captain's performance. He did what he's at the club to do. we know what type of player that Armani Little is, or Samson Little as it is now. Now he's growing his hair back. He's getting his powers back. But you know, he's breaking up play. Like, you know, he's being a nuisance. Like, you know, he's really sort of, you know, disrupting Aki's game and like prevented them from playing. And you know, this is what we want from him. This is exactly what we need from Armani Little. As you said, like before, like this is why he's got the armband. It's why I was calling like for him to have the armband like long before he got it, kind of thing. I mean, during pre-season, like, you know, some people were saying, "Oh, I don't see the point in Armani Little." I'm thinking, okay, you're making that judgment based on pre-season kind of thing. Yeah, you wait until you get him in that competitive scenario. He will turn it on. You know, admittedly, there are games like that we had last season where, you know, he wasn't as effective. Sometimes he had what I like to call the Shadogi syndrome, where you don't know whether you're going to get an 8 out of 10 or a 4 out of 10 kind of thing. But, you know, fortunately, that game, it was definitely towards the upper end of the scale.
Thing is, at this level, and it's important, he knows how to shithouse as well.
Yeah.
And at this level, it's important. I know people say about the dark art of football at this level, but he knows his way around. He might not be a big physical player, but he knows how to shithouse, and that'd be valuable.
Well, he didn't get that handball right, did he? He absolutely shit that one up, didn't he?
Yeah, no. To be fair, you could see it as well from him. It's like he's like reinvigorated after he took that corner, like, and where we were. He was just like, right, proper the fans like going for it. So I'd like to hope that we can keep him fit, because I think that was half of the problem last season as well. Is we couldn't really keep him on a little fit. He'd come back for a couple of games and then be out again.
Yeah.
So that probably didn't help. So we're probably looking now at saying any barbers in Gillingham refuse to cut Armani Little's hair.
Yeah.
We keep growing it, but by the end of the season, when we're getting promoted, it'll be down his arse.
He'll have a Baggio, won't he? Like,
We should keep growing Armani Little's hair. So yeah, well done, Armani. I think there are a multitude of fans that have gone with him as well. I just thought that he was very turned on Saturday. He was very with it. He wanted to win balls. He wanted to chase balls down. It wasn't the best of games, but it's testament to himself when we're not playing well, but he can still put in a performance. So
this isn't a slight on Max Amer, but yeah, when you're looking at like captains of the club and everything like that, can you imagine Max Amer at any point of when he was captain of Gillingham that he would bring that kind of energy?
No.
It wouldn't have happened, would it?
No,
and that's why it needed to change. And
this is the thing. And would you know, once we did score, and Armani's running over to the fans, giving it all the passion. You wouldn't have got that from Max. It would have just been walked straight back to his position.
Exactly.
So fair play.
It's good to bring that energy. Yeah,
love that from Armani. So we will just quickly touch on last week's predictions. So Dom was the fan in charge last week. So the predictions were for us against Accrington. The view from the Medway went for 1-1. Dom went for 2-1 to us. Barnet Fleetwood was 2-1 to Fleetwood for us, and 1-1 for Dom. Cambridge versus Cheltenham was 2-1 to Cambridge for us, and 2-1 for Dom. Salford Crew was 2-1 for us, 2-1 for Dom. Is it MK Don? MK Don's Oldham.
You can't forget about that. They're probably going to miss the league. So.
2-0 for us and 4-1 to Dom. And we did say at the time, was he actually taking drugs? But, you know, anyway, so Shrewsbury and Bromley was 1-0 for us and 2-1 to Dom. So the actual was as follows. We got 1-1 for us. Barnet Fleetwood won 2-0. Cambridge was 1-0 against Cheltenham. Salford Crew was 3-1 to Crew. 0-0 for MK Dons and Oldham, and 0-0 for Shrewsbury and Bromley.
Do you know what? I would absolutely love it if like MK Dons have spent all that money and they absolutely blow it again.
So after week 1, it means that we're on 11 points, and Dom unfortunately was only on 2. But we will move on to this week's one, because this week, this man here is going to go for it. So we've got Crawley. Can't even bloody read that.
Newport.
Crawley Newport. We went for 1-0, and Mike has gone for 2-0. Notts County Salford. We've gone 2-1 to Notts County. Mike's gone 1-0 to Notts County. Bromley versus Barnet. We've got 1-0, and Mike's got 1-0. Gillingham versus Walsall. Can you guess who for us has chosen that result? It's very easy.
It begins with W.
It begins with W and it ends with N. So
Cynical Warren.
that would not be my prediction, but
We love you really, Warren.
so Warren has gone for us to lose 2-0 at home to Walsall, and
Better not, Warren.
Mike has gone for a 1-0 win for us. Harrogate versus Grimsby. We've gone for a 2-0 win for Grimsby, and Mike's gone for a 2-1 win for Grimsby. And Swindon, Cambridge, we've gone 2-1 Swindon, and Mike's gone 2-1 Swindon. So, any reasons behind your?
It's really hard to tell at an early stage, isn't it, what these teams are going to be doing, kind of thing. I mean, for us, for the 1-0, it's as simple as, I think, like, you know, we'll do a sort of our usual squeak it in kind of thing. Yeah, the shithouse 1-0 as we
We'll have a
as we
good
all
crowd
know
and
and
a good
love.
atmosphere, though.
Yeah.
First home game of the season.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good crowd, good atmosphere.
Yeah, but I mean, the others are just a little bit sort of like lick your finger, stick it in the air kind of thing.
Yeah.
And yeah, just really hard to tell. So I've gone very conservative. My guess is no more than 2 goals for any given team.
Yeah.
So,
not like Dom last week. 4-1.
Yeah, he threw caution to the wind a little bit there, didn't he?
Yeah. So John, we're talking about our game. Obviously, Warren's gone for 2-0 to Walsall, and Mike's gone 1-0 for us. I think we always do better against the better teams in the league.
When we're
So,
showing up,
you know, I think we was in hospitality at Walsall last season.
Yeah.
And 0-0, wasn't it? Yeah. So I think we definitely do better. And the only reason I could see potentially Walsall beating us, because they've got a point to prove after last season, after being 16 points clear at the top, to then choking it. And they've now got Aidan Flint. So if you don't have Aidan Flint, if you have Aidan Flint, then you're in with a chance, aren't you, mate?
Yeah, you are. I think, from my point of view, I think they're going to have a bit of a hangover after the disappointment of last season. I think Walsall are going to find it tough this season because they spent most of the last campaign thinking they were certainties to get promoted. There was so much positive energy around that club, and then it didn't happen. And I think there's a hangover from things like that. And for me personally, I think we'll win the game. I would like to say we won't concede. I'd like to say we'll win 2-0. I think we'll have a good crowd, good atmosphere. The players are playing for Gareth. You can see it. They're motivated. The mood around the club is great, and we've got quality in that team. Yeah, we've got quality in our squad, and I think the season really kicks off this weekend at home to Walsall. Yeah, so it leads us on nicely to look ahead then. I've done my bit. He's done his bit. So yeah, Mike, your thoughts for Saturday?
Yeah, I mean, I think it'll be a very tight game. This is why I've gone for, like, you know, that we'll squeak a 1-0. I don't think we'll have the best of the play. I still think Walsall will still have that quality kind of thing, whereas we're still trying to figure things out a little bit. So, but I think we'll just have one of those like little moments, you know, that where, you know, like we had last season, like for example when we played like Port Vale, for example. You know, we didn't have the best game, but we still squeaked it through. Yeah. I think it's going to be that type of game for us. Yeah, definitely. I just hope that we put in a good performance, as John said and as Mike has said. You know, first game at home of the season, crowd's going to be good. Yeah, we're playing one of the bigger teams in the league. No disrespect to the others, but I think that we're definitely going to put in a performance. I would like to see Aaron Rowe possibly back. Can't say he's going to start, but I would also like to see Sam Vokes either on the bench or coming off the bench, or maybe starting. Can't see him starting because he's not had a pre-season, and at 35 years old, not having a pre-season can be quite detrimental. Yeah. But yeah, I'm positive. As long as we don't lose, I'm not going to be overly enamoured by it. But yeah,
I think that's pretty much it, boys.
Well, the problem is, like, with Oaks at 35 years of age kind of thing, when he's coming on, it's not exactly fresh legs at the moment because he hasn't had that pre-season. It's a bit of a juggling act with that one.
Yeah, definitely. Right, so I think we are pretty much at the end of the show. Obviously, we are in partnership with the Gillingham FC Supporters Club. We are in partnership with Sports Social Podcast Network, and we're in partnership with Her Game 2. They're along the bottom, and we are proud to be sponsored by Snodhurst Used Car Sales and Service Station and Wicked Creative. John, thank you very much.
Myself and Jamie, we're really pleased to be involved with the podcast. So, yeah, thank you for everyone watching.
Yeah, that's good. Anything else from yourselves, boys? Any other business, any housekeeping before we go?
Only that John would be dismayed that I sprayed my own bumper. Sorry, John.
But we did forget the goals at the thing, so we will go now and have a quick look at the goals. So if you haven't followed us yet on Facebook, then you can do so at The View from the Medway. You can do so on YouTube at The View from Medway Fancast, or on X at The View from the Medway Fancast, or TVFTM. So I've been Chris, he's been John, he's been Mike. Good night and up the Gills. That's not working very well. I think that was probably going in without the defender.